When you're ready,
ServPro, how can we help?
help gets there faster. The cleanup specialists at 1-800-SERVPRO and ServPro.com. Helping make fire and water damage like it never even happened.
Did your little storm knock out the power? Well, excuse me for not noticing.
Hate to disappoint you, old man Winter. Better luck next time.
If the power goes out, your Generac standby generator goes on, automatically.
Down trees? Flash floods? Is that all you've got?
Stand up to the threat of outages with Generac, and never feel powerless.
Hey, this is Garrett Smithley, driver the number 0 JD Motorsports Chevrolet, and you're watching All Pro Broadcasting.
You're watching All Pro Broadcasting with
Freedom Train.
Does your home suffer from paint failure? It's time to paint the exterior of your home if it's suffering from caulking, peeling, blistering or dried wood, fading or bleaching, cracked or stained stucco. Have the Arizona Painting Company make your home look like new again. With our Gold Package, we offer the best and only 10-year paint warranty in Arizona. Our crews are experienced, well-trained, friendly, and best of all, they'll make sure you're 100% satisfied. Choose the best. Choose the Arizona Painting Company. Visit us online or call today and ask about our 10-year Gold Package paint warranty.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed the twilight lies gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallant
Welcome, fans, from the long, long shadows of the tallest arch in the world in St. Louis. Not too far from the smell of barbecue in St. Louis, we can almost hear the sound of the blues music playing. We are live here in Madison, Illinois, at the Gateway Motorsports Park for the Domino's TYJ Racing Dented Fenders Serve Pro 188. Live tonight on All Pro Broadcasting. Welcome, men and women, boys and girls of all ages. Welcoming me in the booth tonight is my good friend, 2016 Domino's TYJ Dented Fenders Truck Champion, Curtis Young. How you doing tonight, Curtis?
Pretty good, Robert. Back for another Dented Fenders truck race, which will be race number 8 on the season here. Standings are starting to shape up as the season progresses, and yeah, excited to be here at Gateway. It's a really flat track that's 1.25 miles in length, so should be another good one here tonight.
Yes, sir, Curtis. This track, 1970. It's about 8 minutes from St. Louis. It has banking in turns 1 and 2 of only 11 degrees. Turns 3 and 4, only 9 degrees. So this track is definitely flat. We are going to go over some standings here as the drivers are starting their qualifying laps. Curtis, go ahead.
Yeah, and to add to what you just said there, the straightaways, they're only 3 degrees, so they're almost flat. I mean, a lot of tracks have pretty banked straightaways, although it doesn't look like it. That's what they have, and this track doesn't really have that. Qualifying started about a minute and a half ago here. Drivers starting to take their first times in. Right now it's the number 4 of William Locklear on the top of the board with the 34.821. Still lots of drivers to take a time as of yet. Only 10 drivers have taken a time so far, and Andrew Kessler just getting out on the track right now. He was our fastest time in practice of a 34.683.
Yes, sir. And on the standings, we're going to go over real quick. You have that, Curtis?
Yep. Right now at the top of the board, we got Gerald Campbell in the 6 machine. He's got 242 points, but only 7 points behind him is the 19 of Tim Cox. The 14 of James Ross. He has been one of the most solid trucks out here all year. He's got 2 wins. He sits in 3rd position. Gary Sexton in the 17. He's got a brand new truck out here tonight. You guys will get a chance to see that once the race gets underway. He's in the 4th position with Josh Tanner in the 27 in 5th, who is unfortunately not in the field tonight. Dustin Lee in the 32 is in 6th place right now. Tyler Chalk in the 07 machine, he's sitting in 7th. Jeremy Crandall in the 73, he sits in 8th right now, with Jack Watts right behind him in 9th, only 4 points behind him. Andrew Kessler rounds out your top 10, and these guys are all pretty close in points with only 7 races deep so far in the season. Over or under 45 points separates 1st through 10th spot.
Yes, sir. And some of those guys have wins, which means they're locked in the chase. Right now, I'm going to bring you to the booth one of our veteran truck drivers from 2016 and 2017. Chad Payne is in that office HQ number 9. He lives right outside of St. Louis and can give us some quick track facts for the Gateway Motorsports Park. Chad, this is Robert Curtis in the booth. Give us some facts about Gateway Motorsports Park, please.
Hey, Robert, how you doing? Just wanted to touch base with you on some of these quick track facts. St. Louis International Raceway Park originates back in 1967. This was formerly NHRA drag strip. And then they tore it down later on. And then in the past few years, they've really come back. Last year's winner was Christopher Bell in the Camping World Truck Series. They've also hosted Indy Racing League. Helio Castronovis holds a record of 175 miles an hour here. Metallica was also here for their summer sanitarium tour. back in July 3rd, 2000. Cart also holds a record here of 187 miles an hour. Down in turns 1 and 2, there's the Kartplex, which is one of the most famous go-kart tracks in the Midwest as of today.
Thank you, Chad. Getting ready to run down our starting grid now. Looks like the number 98 of Andrew Kessler has taken the pole. Gerald Campbell on the outside in the 6 machine. He's still looking for his first win on the season, although he's leading the points right now. He starts in 2nd. Vernon Markheim in the 33. He's rolling off in 3rd place tonight. And William Locklear is rolling off in 4th. Mark Jackson rounds out your top 5 tonight in his number 3 machine. Shane Parrish in the 81 machine. He rolls off in 6th tonight. Sorry,
Can you drop
a little
me
bit of
back
technical
now,
difficulties on my end. 32 of Dustin Lee rolls off in 7th tonight. 17 of Gary Sexton starts in 8th. Jeff T. Martin starts in 9th tonight in the number 15 with Tim Cox rounding out your top 10 in the 19. Ray Richer starts in 11th tonight with the 101 of David Gainforth to his outside. Joe Johnson rocking a new paint scheme tonight in that number 83 machine. He starts in 13th with Chad Payne, who we just spoke with, to his outside in 14th, and Gary Weston rounds out your top 10. Sorry, your top 15, my bad.
Yes, sir. We've got Tim Rangers in the number 70 starting 16th. His wife, Michelle, will be spotting for him tonight, fans. You're going to love that. Although, unfortunately, we will not hear her. He will. 17th, we have Judd Danielson, the 85 Domino's TYJ pizza truck. Jen Collum in the 76 will be starting 18th. Starting 19th, we have Sean Kalis, one of our new drivers in the 45. Starting 20th, we have Danny Rudy in the 37. Drivers after that did not take a starting time, which is okay. We've got Jack Watts, William Hartman, Ivan Garcia, Tyler Chalk, Michael Fravert, James Sonke, and Jeremy Crandall will be starting at the end of the field tonight for what will be a very exciting race, fans. These guys will be downshifting to 3rd in the corners, especially on brand new tires, upshifting to 4th. It's going to be very exciting to see if they're able to maintain control of these trucks on this very, very tricky track. I'm really excited for this race tonight, Curtis.
And the pace car pulls off for the first time tonight. Andrew Kessler gets going, gets out to a big jump headed down into turn 1 with Gerald Campbell back there on the outside holding on to 2nd, and Vernon Markheim pulls up in front of William Locklear there for the 3rd position. But everybody getting single filed out for the most part right now. Mark Jackson and Shane Parrish are side by side there. Looks like the 81 clears him, and Shane Parrish inside of William Locklear now. That 81 in the 4 down into turn number 3. It looks like hard braking for these trucks tonight into both turns 1 and 3. Still side by side for that 5th position. It looks like Locklear and Jackson getting sent out.
Yeah, Shane Parrish decides to back out of there and try another time later. And just as we speak, Mark Jackson's making a look. He's in that number 3 Chevy Silverado. That would be the over-the-top Domino's TYJ racing truck. And he lets, looks like Tim Rangers, Gary Sexton get around him.
Behind them, Dustin Lee looks to the inside of, Jeff Martin looks to the inside of Dustin Lee there in his number 15 machine. He makes a pass in turns 3 and 4 for that 9th position. And, yeah, right now still Andrew Kessler way out front the beginning of this race, trying to see if he's downshifting, and it looks like he is. So fast way around here tonight is going to definitely be downshifting and upshifting up on the straightaways, like you said.
Yes, Curtis, I jumped in the final happy hour practice for these trucks earlier today, and absolutely with brand new tires on the truck, you're definitely going to want to be downshifting and upshifting, but once these tires get some wear on them, the lap times will be dropping off just a little bit. Some of these guys might choose to not shift and save some fuel. If we have a long green flag runs tonight, which we hope we do, it is a 150 lap race, Curtis. fuel mileage could come into play. It'll be very interesting.
Yeah, if you can still be fast and keep it in fourth gear, and I'm sure you use a little bit less fuel doing that. So with 150 laps tonight, honestly, I don't have very much experience driving this track, so I have no idea what a fuel load is on a flat 1 1/4 mile track. This is a very unique track, so really, I don't know what these drivers have to work with, so it'll be interesting to see.
Yes, sir, Curtis. One thing they're going to have to work with is their brakes. I just noticed Shane Parrish in that number 181, Serve Pro truck got into the corner a little bit hot, locked up his front left tire. The truck went sideways. He was able to save it, but he did lose 3-4 positions. As right now, it looks like Jeff T. Martin, the number 15, is looking to his inside, getting in. Looks like to turn number 3 here.
Yeah, and behind them, Dustin Lee looks to get the run on Shane Parrish. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to this time. He didn't roll through the corner quite as fast as it looked like he was. Looking for side-by-side battles on the track, but these guys are mostly all single-filed out. Right now, James Somke trying to look to the inside of Jack Watts into turn 1 back there in about 20th, 21st position. He's going to clear him into turn 1, and you'll see a lot of these guys just make the pass instantly on corner entry because braking zones can be so much different. Jack Watts goes for the crossover move on Somke into turn 3, and he clears him. So, like I said, a lot of times you'll see people make the pass before they even get halfway through the center of the corner, and then you'll see the car that got past go for that crossover move, like you just saw Jack Watts do, and get that position back on the one of James Somke.
Yes, sir. Right now, it looks like Judd Danielson made a move. He's in that 85 Domino's truck. He just got around the 14 of Gary Weston in that K&N Air Filters Toyota. And it looks like Judd Danielson will be moving up into the 17th position.
And Michael Fravert looking below Gary Weston now in the middle of turn 3 and 4. He's got the run coming out of turn 4. And yeah, he clears them before they even get to the start-finish line. So the bottom looks to be the place to be. That's where I've seen almost all the passes made as Jeremy Crandall sticks his nose in there. Doesn't quite stick his nose in there, but he shows Gary Weston that he wants by. They're side-by-side coming out of turn 2. Down the backstretch, Jeremy Crandall gets a little bit of a wiggle, and Weston gets the run. He'll hold on to that 19th position for right now. So these guys are getting a little bit loose tonight. Track temperature that they have to work with is 105 degrees. So these trucks will start slipping and sliding around as the fuel run goes on.
Yes, sir, Curtis. Jeremy Crandall, he's driving that number 73 in memory of David Steele, 1974 to 2017 Chevy Silverado. He gets loose again getting into the corner. So these trucks, after only 8 or 9 laps, Curtis, they're already losing quite a bit of grip. As it looks like James Somke is going to get the run on the outside now of Jeremy Crandall and try to make a move. Looks like Jeremy's coming to pit road already. He must have a problem with his brake. Sorry, Curtis, go ahead.
Sorry, Andrew Kessler is still out there to a 1.4 second lead right now, and then the next truck behind them is William Locklear, and he's 3.3 seconds back. So right now, Andrew Kessler in control of this race as we are 10 laps into the race right now, and Gerald Campbell not looking like he has much on the short run for Andrew Kessler right now.
Yes, sir. It sounds like we might have a truck spinning in the back on the grass. Did you see anything, Curtis? It's like we were definitely staying green. It could have been the 37 of Danny Rudy.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
Yeah, it looks like we're staying green for now, which is good news. We are 10 laps here into the race. While we've got a minute, Curtis, I do want to remind all the fans who are joining us, we do appreciate our fans, no matter where you live, no matter how you heard about Domino's TYJ Racing. Tonight you are watching the Serve Pro 188. We have a special thing we do every single Wednesday and Thursday night, fans. We give away a free large Domino's 3-topping pizza. How we do that and how you can have your chance to win the pizza is real simple, fans. Before halfway of this race, which will be lap 75 tonight, the first fan who accurately predicts the winner of this race by texting 919-883-7497, or if you're watching live on your device, You can include that winner's name in the live chat. We do monitor that through the race as well. The first fan who is accurate in picking the winner will win a free large 3-topping Domino's pizza anywhere in the United States where you have a Domino's store in your hometown. Carry out only. You do have to go pick it up. We do not put it in our Dented Fender's trucks and bring it to you, but it is still a great deal. We've given about 19 or 20 of these pizzas away over the last 22, 23 weeks, Curtis. We love doing it, and we love having new winners every single week.
Right now, Michael Fravor is attempting to make a pass on Judd Danielson on the outside, and he makes it. Last time headed down into turn 3, he drove it in deep, stuck it to the outside of that 85 machine of Judd Danielson, and got the run. But Judd Danielson looking for the crossover move. He gets inside of Michael Fravor, but caution is out. He's going to lose that position for now. The 70 of Tim Rangers is around on the backstretch.
Just fans, as we get that replay pulled up, we'll let you know exactly what happened. Obviously, these vehicles, they have definitely, the trucks have lost a lot of grip in their tires so far.
Looks like he got loose in that Align Motorsport, or Align Remote Control, sorry, Chevrolet Silverado. He just looped it coming off of turn 2 there.
That's exactly what looks like happened. And we were about 10 laps into the race here.
And Andrew Kessler can't be very happy to see that coming out. He actually missed pit road. Andrew Kessler missed pit road this time, so that big mistake by that number 98 machine. Everybody else just made it down pit road. I'm assuming that he missed the backstretch entrance there. Gerald Campbell is probably going to inherit this lead. That or the number 17 of Gary Sexton looks to be the next truck behind them. So,
yes, that's definitely a big mistake on Andrew's part. Andrew is one of our best drivers, and this is a track that not all these drivers race on every single year. Obviously, Andrew Kessler is in that 98 Chef Andy's lobster rolls Toyota Tundra. So he's definitely going to lose some positions here. I wonder if he's going to elect to stay out instead of coming back down pit road. He's got to come in and get some tires.
Yeah, I'm really not sure. I think he'll probably pull it down pit road. He knows there's a lot of time left in the race. Actually, no, it looks like he's going to bypass it. So maybe that was his call to stay out from the beginning. Maybe he missed it, and that he was kind of forced to take this call. But everybody's got newer tires behind him now, for the most part. I think everybody else pitted, and Gerald Campbell back up in second spot behind him. So everybody else pits. Andrew Kessler stays out on the track on lap 15 here, and we'll see what he can do on older tires. I think he's going to be quite a bit of a sitting duck.
Yeah, he might be a sitting duck. Of course, he will probably get a great restart.
Lap times have fallen off about 0.7 of a second on that number 98 machine from his fastest lap time of the race. So definitely running a little bit slower than the first couple laps of the run, and we'll see if he can hold off that number 6 machine of Gerald Campbell, who didn't look like he had much on the short run for that number 98 machine, although his qualifying time was only 3/1000ths of a second slower than that number 98 of Andrew Kessler. So looks like the lights are still on top of the pace car, and they should be out this time by.
Yeah, let me take a second also to talk a little bit about our sponsor. We're very fortunate to have ServPro come on board. This is the ServPro 188. ServPro is basically for any time you have an emergency at your home. ServPro has the fastest response time to any disaster, and they are ready for whatever happens. ServPro, can make it like it never even happened. Shane Parrish is a driver in our league who owns a ServPro franchise in Grapevine, Texas. There are additional 1,799 franchises across the United States of America. So fans, if you ever have an emergency in your home, you have a flood, you have a toilet overflow, you have a sink overflow, hot water heater leak, make sure you call 1-800-ServPro. They will get there fast, and they will make it like it never even happened. Let you take this restart, Curtis.
Yeah, the lights are now off atop the iRacing.com Mustang pace car. Chef Andy's Andrew Kessler. He's been up front every lap tonight so far, as we're on lap 17.
Yeah, I'm gonna real quick. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say Gerald Campbell's been running in second the entirety of the night, but Gary Sexton's made his way up to third. He's running in sixth right now.
Yeah, I was just gonna say some of the biggest movers so far. Gary Sexton
He's made his way up to third.
Yeah, he's up to third, and I'll let you take this restart.
Andrew Kessler gets going almost instantly. Gerald Campbell doesn't get the start that he wants. Sexton is looking to his inside as they head down into turn 1. He looks to make the pass. Campbell drives it in real deep. He knew that Sexton was there, and we'll see if he can make it stick on the outside. Almost 3 wide. I think Sexton probably backed out of it a little bit there because he knows that Martin was below him in that number 33. Sexton gets the run on the outside as Gerald Campbell maintains that second position. He absolutely sailed it down into turn 1 that time.
Yes, these trucks, even with brand new tires, Curtis, it is tricky. You got to know your shifting point, you got to know your braking point, and the two different ends of this track are different. Like I mentioned before, turns 1 and 2 have a banking of 11 degrees. Turns 3 and 4 have only a banking of 9 degrees. You got to remember which end of the track you're on as these drivers are doing that. But it's easy to sail down in there, and Andy Kessler just gets loose, and he just saved it.
He's going to lose quite a few positions there. But
what an incredible save. Yeah, he drops back 4th, 5th, 6th. Looks like right now he's getting passed by the number 3, Mark Jackson, on the outside. Obviously, Andrew Kessler in that 98 will have to keep in mind his tires have definitely got 19 laps on them. These new tricks with brand new rubber are going to be able to make their way around him. And hopefully he will not have that issue again, Curtis. That was amazing.
So he drops back all the way to 6th spot on that 1 lap. And they're 3 wide with the 15 of Jeff T. Martin, Mark Jackson, and the 17 of Gary Sexton. Andrew Kessler looking to the inside of Gary Sexton now, and yeah, what a save by that number 98 that last time by. He knew that he had to push it on his old tires there, and pushed it a little bit too hard, but makes the save. His truck is still clean. He didn't hit a thing, and hopefully he can get back up there. I'm not sure this is going to put him at a disadvantage on if he's going to have to make an extra pit stop or not. As I said, I'm not sure what these guys have on fuel. Shane Parrish makes the pass on the outside on him, so definitely a lot slower than he was right now. Maybe a little bit spooked at the moment as well.
Yes, sir. I'm sure he almost had an emergency right there in his truck. He could have called ServPro, but he's a very good driver. He did take care of that car, did not actually wreck it. Last thing he wants now, though, Curtis, Andrew Kessler does not want a long green flag run because he's in 6 positions now, dropped back to 7th, and as these laps keep winding down, his tires are going to get worn even more. He's likely to drop out of the top 10. Obviously, none of us want another caution, but he's definitely open for caution sometime soon.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if he thought about that when he said, okay, I'm just going to try and keep the lead right here. Maybe I don't know if he thought about, okay, we ran 15 laps here, we're going to have a green flag run, or we're going to have a caution, or if he just said, I need to keep the lead. So right now, being attacked by the number 4 of William Locklear, but Locklear drives it in real deep that time, and Tim Cox behind him backs the corner up a little bit. We'll see if he can get the run off. It doesn't look like it. So William Locklear pushing hard right now too in that number 4 Monster Energy. Looks like it's a Chevrolet Silverado.
Yes, sir, Curtis, real quick. While we are agreeing, I'm going to do a quick Domino's driver profile. The number 98, we already talked about him, Andrew Kessler. He is from Belchertown, Massachusetts. His racing team is Aegis Motorsports. His sponsors are Aegis Motorsports, Chef Andy's Lobster Rolls, and Power Tech Power Solutions. He has been in sim racing for 5 years, and he wants to give special thanks to Dave Washington and Aegis Motorsports.
Yeah, and right in front of him, let's take a second to get a good shot of that number 17 Domino's TYJ Dirt Renegade Series truck. New series we're going to be starting here on Sunday nights shortly, so details to come on that, but brand new, very good looking truck on that number 17 of Gary Sexton.
Yes, sir. Curtis, for the fans, while we're staying green, he is in that Domino's TYJ Racing Dirt Renegade Series. What that means, fans, if you're into sim racing, if you know somebody who is, or if you just want another fantastic series to watch for Domino's TYJ Racing family, it's going to be Sunday night, starting tentatively April 30th. It could be the week after that, where you're signing drivers up left and right, and we're going to have a tryout races coming Sunday night, so you want to make sure you get in that if you are a driver, not part of our family of leagues. And if you're a fan, we're going to love to have you watching us on Sunday nights. The actual official races here, once they do get going, will start around 9 p.m. Eastern, and it's going to be really exciting in the dirt. We're excited for what's going on, and we definitely hope you join us. Thanks, Curtis.
Gerald Campbell out to a 1.7 second lead, but Vernon Markheim in the 33, Jeff Martin in the 15, and Mark Jackson in that 3 machine. They have been close for the last couple laps. You could throw the 3 of them under a blanket. It looks like Markheim has a little bit of damage on his rear spoiler and tailgate, so maybe got a little bit of a bumper put to him by one of those 2 guys. Not sure which one of them.
Yeah, I think that happened on the...
Mark Jackson as well.
Yes, sir. It looks like that was on the first lap. The number 4 of William Locklear just barely got into him, but these guys are learning each other's different braking points, which is a whole other factor here, fans. Some drivers brake early before the corner or entering the corner. Some guys will drive it a little bit further and then hit the brake. So getting used to how each other are going to be braking is probably definitely how Vernon got that damage on the back of his truck. And yeah, Shane made that pass also, Curtis.
So I'm just going to take a wild guess and say these guys' fuel load is going to be around 50 to 65 laps. So that would put, if that was the case, that would put pit stops at around lap 65 to 80 if we went green from here. So these guys have quite a while to go on the 3/4 load on a 1.5 mile track, where you're using quite a bit of throttle the entire time. You can run about 37 to 42 laps, to 44 laps, sorry, depending on the track. And these guys are using a lot of brake and really rolling it through the center of the corner, and really only on the gas a quarter of the way out of the corners and down the straightaways. So a lot less fuel used here. I'm thinking they can probably go, like I said, 50 to 65 laps, if not maybe a bit more.
Yeah, I just heard from one of the team's communications. They were talking about they were getting around 50 laps on this tank. So it'll be interesting to see how that's going to stretch out.
Yeah, right around lap 65.
Yeah, and while we also got a minute, Curtis, I'm going to take us through the field real quick. Obviously, leading the race tonight, we have Gerald Campbell. He's in that number 6 VFW sponsored Chevy Silverado. That's Veterans of Foreign Wars. Looking really good here tonight. In second position, we have Vernon Markheim. We've talked about him already. He's in that Y&S Toyota Tundra, running in second. We've got Jeff T. Martin in that number 15. Looks like he is in that Call of Duty ATopGamers.com Chevrolet Silverado. He's running third. Running fourth, we have Shane Parrish in the Serve Pro Toyota Tundra, that number 81, great looking truck. Hopefully he doesn't have any emergencies on board. If he does, he is well prepared. Running fifth, we have Mark Jackson in the Over the Top Paints and Designs Chevy Silverado Classic number 3. Running seventh, we have Andrew Kessler. He is kind of maintaining that position. He's in that Aegis Toyota Tundra. He's just now getting passed by the 17. We just talked about Gary Sexton. He just moved up to 6th position in that number 17 Silverado. Back in 8th position, Curtis, we have William Locklear in that Monster Army Chevrolet Silverado Monster Energy number 4. Number 9th, we have Tim B. Cox. He's in that EVGA Gaming Chevrolet Silverado. Running 10th, we have Dustin Lee with a tad of damage on the right front fender. He's also in that over-the-top design and paints and designs Chevrolet Silverado number 32. Running 11th, we've got Ray Richard. He is in that number 44. Chevy Silverado Pro Auto Service and Amsoil are his sponsors. Running 12th, we have the Twinkies truck. Michael Fravor in that number 36. Michael started all the way back in 25th. He's already up to 12th. Classic Michael Fravor, moving up a little bit earlier than I would have expected, but good to see him up here in the top 12. Looks like in 13th, we also have Joe Johnson. As he gets loose and he gets hit. He gets hit by the height of Chad Payne. Joe Johnson is in that South Carolina Gamecocks Chevrolet Silverado. and he does get it rolling again, and fans will bring up that replay in just a minute. I think he just got loose as we were just talking about him. What'd you see, Curtis?
Yeah, it looks like the 83 of Joe Johnson Chad Payne gets to the inside of him. He knows he has to get on it down that straightaway. He gets a little bit loose, just nowhere for Chad Payne to go, and into the wall hard for Chad Payne. Joe Johnson gets a pretty decent lick as well.
Yeah, these trucks have got quite a few laps on them, even though they made pit stops and had brand new tires. And Joe definitely gets loose, and Chad was right there, had nowhere to go. So fans, on that note, we are going to take our first quick commercial break. We'll be right back with pit stop updates. Again, you are watching the ServPro 188 live on All Pro Broadcasting here from Madison, Illinois. We'll be right back, fans.
When you're ready,
ServPro, how can we help?
help gets there faster. The cleanup specialists at 1-800-ServPro and ServPro.com. Helping make fire and water damage like it never even happened.
Smithley, driver the number 0, JD Motorsports Chevrolet, and you're watching All Pro Broadcasting.
Yeah, welcome back, race fans. We have in the booth right now Tim Renders involved in that first spin. Tim, give us a quick 30 minutes. Tell us how you're doing and how you expect the rest of the race to go and who you'd like to give thanks to.
A little shaken up after that wreck. Judd and I were racing hard. I got into my back a little bit, kind of blew that tire on that turn, wrecked into the wall, got a little bit of damage. But yeah, that's racing. Would like to thank my wife, my spotter, Michelle Ringer. She's here in the spotting booth with me. ATM Motorsports, line remote control. For putting a good race car out here tonight, but getting wrecked early is no fun, I'll tell you that.
Thanks a lot, Tim. Good luck in the rest of the race as we go back green.
Thank you, Robert. You take care.
And Gerald Campbell takes the outside lane on that restart in that number 6 machine. He gets a big jump on the 81 of Shane Parrish, who would have been in 3rd position, I guess, there with, I guess it was Jeff Martin who would have been 2nd place there, but Shane Parrish gets the start Gerald Campbell gets the start that he wants on that outside lane there, and yeah, starting on the outside, you can really make sure that nobody passes you. Sometimes with the iRacing software, you can get a nose on somebody coming to the line and they won't detect it, but not if you choose the outside lane. So, smart decision for Gerald Campbell if wants to keep the lead there. He knows that Andrew Kessler is back there in that 6th position and charging on those new tires.
Yes, sir. Everybody here in the top of the group has definitely got 4 brand new Goodyear Eagles and 2 full cans of Sunoco Racing fuel. Joel Campbell was real smart to take that outside lane for the restart. Gives him a great arc into the first turn. He is maintaining the lead, although Jeff T. Martin is closing quick. And yes, you said it, the 98 of Andrew Kessler's got some brand new tires now. And he is definitely making the move up through the field as they look like we're about single file now, 1st through 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Yeah, it looks like that 98 machine was just sizing up Vernon Markheim that time by. Yeah, I was right. He gets to the inside of the 33 that time, and they'll be side by side coming off of corner number 2, and then it looks like the 33 is going to get the run, but Kessler is putting down the power. He's got a good run on that inside lane there, enough to make sure that 33 stayed on the outside, headed down into turn number 3. Kessler gets clear for just a second as the 33 wiggles coming out of turn number 4, so Kessler makes that pass, and turn number 4 looks to be the most treacherous spot for these guys where they seem to be getting loose.
Yes, it looks like Andrew Kessler is going to make a move now on the number 3 of Mark Jackson. I don't think he has the momentum, although he might come out of this corner. They both get a little bit loose and wiggle off the corner. We're going to see that all night long tonight, Curtis. And Andrew Kessler is battling back on the outside. He's trying to get that nose to the inside, going into the next corner. And Mark Jackson makes a smart move in that number 3 and lets him by. He knew he was a faster truck, and that way they can race clean and not lose any more time than they have to the leader.
So Kessler on the charge to that 4th position, and looking to get that lead back right now. It's still Gerald Campbell up front though, but Jeff Martin not too far behind, only 0.2 of a second that last time by, and that number 15 Domino's Pizza Machine.
Yeah, it looks like
all 3 drivers at the front are looking for their, actually I think Shane Parrish has a win, but Jeff Martin and Gerald Campbell both looking for their first wins on the season. Gerald Campbell kind of hard to believe as he is your points leader right now through 7 races, but still looking for win number 1 on the season for that number 6.
Yes, sir, Curtis. I am very confident that Gerald Campbell will get one, if not a string of wins before the season is over. Fans, we have a long season here. You don't want to miss a single thing on Wednesday nights. You want to be locked right in here to All-Pro Broadcasting and Domino's PYJ Racing. Yeah, Kessler gets loose.
Again, as he got to the inside of Shane Parrish, so Kessler's tires don't seem to last that long before he starts getting a little bit loose. I'm sure he's still going to be just as quick because he's not on older tires like he was the last time, but even
it just shows
truck out here tonight having some troubles.
Yeah, that's what that's telling me, Curtis, is that Andrew Kessler is driving his truck as hard as he can to get back up front. He was leading this race. He had the pole position. He had made a slight accident, or mistake, Curtis, by missing pit road entry the first time. That will not happen to him again tonight. And he's doing everything he can to get those positions back, and he's doing a great job and putting on a great show.
You can tell he's been practicing on some dirt because he should have lost it twice now, but saved it both times and still riding in that 4th position and looking to make the pass on Shane Parrish. He was mid-pass when he got loose that time, but he's below the 81, and in front of them, the 15 of Jeff Martin battle for the lead. Looked like he almost got into the number 6 of Gerald Campbell that last time, and it's only about a truck length that separates first and second right now.
Yes, that is a battle heating up right there. And that's probably only going to get better and better as the night goes on, Curtis. I was going to highlight real quick, sorry about that, Curtis. Driver, we just interviewed Tim Ringer, excuse me. Wanted to do a real quick Domino's driver profile on Tim. Tim is, like I said, he's in the 70. His nickname is the legendary Tim Ringers. He has got sponsors on OneWorldRacing.com, Align Remote Control, and Hellapalooza.com. We've seen the helicopter landing pad on the back of his truck. It'd be great to get an image of that again. His spotter, like we said, is his wife, Michelle. He has got, in real life racing, 21 oval wins. Actually, excuse me, in iRacing, he's got 21 oval wins. That includes Charlotte, Dega, Daytona, Phoenix, and Dover. And he is learning a lot here. We're happy that Tim and his wife are part of what we're doing.
Sorry to interrupt, Robert. Yeah, but
look
at the battle we were having up front last time by. There was 4 trucks within 0.4 of a second of each other, and here comes Mark Jackson into the mix. So nobody could make the pass on Gerald Campbell, but Kessler to the inside of Shane Parrish as Campbell pulled away a lot that last lap, actually. They were all bumper to bumper to bumper, and he makes the passes. Everybody slides up to the wall, and they're starting to slide up to the wall in turn 1 and 2. I'm not sure if they're overdriving the corner or if that's just the line, but Kessler couldn't make the pass on Parrish, and now the 81 of Shane Parrish to the inside of the 15 of Jeff Martin.
Yes, sir, and it looks like they're side by side coming out of this turn 3. There's door-to-door drag race. Drag race as they come down the back stretch. I mean, the front stretch across the start finish line.
Kessler to push Jeff Martin.
And he wisely backs out of it and let these guys sort it out in the corner. And Jeff Martin goes high. That's going to open the door, I think, for the 81 of Shane Parrish and 98 of Andrew Kessler's going to look on the inside. 3 wide coming down the back stretch. This is some great racing, Curtis. It looks like Shane Parrish has got the advantage. He clears to the high side of Jeff T. Martin. But Kessler's right on the inside. He's going to dive it in there to the inside. And hopefully out of this corner he will gain the lead, although Shane Parrish is battling back on the outside.
And what a move by that number 98 machine. He got on the back bumper of Jeff Martin, pushed him into the corner farther than he wanted to go a little bit maybe. Makes the crossover on Shane Parrish for 3 wide, and wow, what a battle. He's looking to grab that second position right now and set his sights back on the lead.
And don't look now, but it looks like Gerald Campbell got loose. Went high in the last corner and got sideways, caught it. And these two drivers, Shane Parrish and Andrew Kessler, are making up the time. Look how much time they've gained on Gerald Campbell as his tires are getting worn away a little bit. And right now, Andrew Kessler is all over the back bumper of that 81 Serve Pro of Shane Parrish. I'm sure he's going to dive to the inside here, or he might wait and try to take him on the outside. We haven't seen many passes on the outside. This is really good racing. And that's going to allow the 3 of Mark Jackson to catch up. And don't look now, the 33.
Caution is out.
Yes, we have a caution coming up, but we'll get that replay pulled up right away here.
I'm not sure what actually triggered the caution.
Yeah, it looks to me like Judd Danielson. Although I'm not sure that's what caused the caution there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's contact between the number 36 and the 85. Judd Danielson and Michael Fravert. Judd Danielson maybe cooks it into the corner a little hot there. Fravert lets off the gas a little bit early. One of the two, I'm not sure. They get a little bit sideways, but not enough to trigger the caution, I wouldn't think. I didn't see anybody else spinning, though.
Yeah, sometimes iRacing. Looks like the 83. I'm getting information right now. We'll look at the 83 real quick on this replay. We definitely had the wrong vehicles there. Apologize for that, fans. The 83 had issues.
Yeah, the 83, it looks like he actually got loose coming off of turn 4 now that you say that.
Yeah, from what I'm understanding on the communication here, 83 got in that corner a little too hot. and he was sideways going in there, and that's what brought out the caution.
Drivers coming down pit road, and Andrew Kessler's made his way back up to the 3rd position. We'll see if he can gain another one on this restart. Gerald Campbell's probably going to take the outside again, which will put Kessler on the inside, that second car back on the line that's getting on the loud pedal probably a little bit later. So that's probably exactly what Gerald Campbell wants, is to get back out there in the lead and start from that outside position again. Battle off of pit road, though. He loses it. Shane Parrish gets the lead, and Gerald Campbell gets into that 2nd position. Kessler in 3rd still.
Yes, pit road is a place, Curtis, where you can gain positions and you can lose positions. Obviously, when you come in your pit stall, you want to make sure you don't have any men coming over the wall too soon. You don't want to slide through your pit stall. You don't want any of your tire carriers or tire changers to drop any lug nuts. That was a very close race off of pit road, excuse me, Curtis. And you also don't want the gas man to drop the gas can and drag it through a pit stall or two. We've seen that before. That will give you a black flag. You have to come back through pit road, serve a penalty. In a track like this, that'll put you a lap down, and you don't want that.
It looks like Ivan Garcia in that 72 machine has actually stayed out. I'm not sure if he's just doing that to lead a lap, if he's going to stay out there and try and lead some more, but Ivan Garcia grabbing that extra bonus point for leading a lap that last time by.
Yes, and fans, while we do have a second, do want to remind all of you of the Domino's TYJ Racing free pizza giveaway. You pick the winner, you get a free pizza dinner. I think we got time here, Curtis, before we go back green. How that works, fans, is very simple. The first fan who can accurately predict the winner of this race before lap 75, and we've got about 20 laps, series opener, will be given one Sunday night. So you want to make sure you stay tuned right here at All Pro Broadcasting, and you could be the next winner of the free pizza.
The driver's gridding up, and Ivan Garcia has elected to stay out on the track, and it looks like he's going to take that outside lane on the restart.
Yes, that might be a risky move. He probably led a lap or two there under caution, which will get him a bonus point, and hopefully these guys can get through. Some other big movers.
Down into the inside, and Kessler looks to the bottom. He almost gives the 81 a little bit of a punt, and 72 up into the wall. He overdrives the corner.
Yes, looks like we keep it straight. We are staying green, and doesn't look like Shane Parrish has got the lead here. Looks like Andrew Kessler in the 98 is driving it hard in here to turn number 3. He's going to try to pass him through turn 3 and 4. And it'll be a drag race coming off here to see who's going to lead this lap, Curtis.
Looks like it's going to be Andrew Kessler this time by in the number 98 Aegis Motorsports Chef Andy's Toyota Tundra. But they're still side by side. Shane Parrish in that number 81 Serve Pro Toyota Tundra. 98 clears them just barely and slides up. Crossover move by the 81 of Shane Parrish, but Kessler goes for the block and he pulls back up to the wall, and Kessler real aggressive right now. He wants to let everybody know that this is his race to win.
Yes, sir, and Shane Parrish is also hungry for a win in that Serve Pro Toyota. He has been a very fast driver week in and week out here, and he's going to try to stay as close to Andrew Kessler as he can. Looks like Gary Sexton has moved smartly up into that 3rd position. Gerald Campbell after the pit stop see is running 4th. Dustin Lee has come, it seems like, out of nowhere, Curtis. He qualified 7th, so I guess he did start up front. He's in 5th right now, but a good run for him so far. And then we got quite a bit of distance, maybe 8-10 car lengths all the way back, truck lengths, excuse me, fans, to Jeff T. Martin, who is followed by Vernon Margout's been in the top 10, it seems like, all night, Curtis. Tim B. Cox in the number 19 is in 8th. We have that Twinkies number 36 of Michael Fravert in 9th. And in 10th, we have Ray Richer. He's in that AMSOIL sponsored 44. He is up to 10th, which is a great move for Ray. Looks like he started in 11th. What are you seeing, Curtis?
Right now, David Gainforth in the 101. He just cleared the number 1 of James Somke, but Somke going for the crossover, gives the 101 a little bit of a bump in the middle of turns 3 and 4. Gainforth holds onto it in that Mr. Bubble Chevrolet Silverado, and Somke quite a bit back that last time. I think as soon as he got into the 101, he let off a bit and realized how close they were and gave the 101 the position because that was a little bit scary. But here comes Chad Payne behind them.
Yes, Chad Payne is trying to make a move in his Office HQ Chevy Silverado.
Mark Jackson to the inside of Chad Payne as they head down to turns 3 and 4.
Yes, Mark Jackson started in 5th. I'm not sure what happened to Mark, if he had an issue on pit road earlier in the race. But Mark Jackson, that number 3, is all the way back in, looks like 17th right now. Might have just gained a position up to 16th.
And Andrew Kessler back out front by 0.7 of a second over Shane Parrish. So he's stretching that gap, and Gary Sexton 2 seconds back in the 3rd position with Gerald Campbell behind them 2.2 seconds back.
Yes, Curtis, I think these drivers have pretty much figured this track out for the most part. They've realized that once the tires get worn, this is an old asphalt surface, it looks like, Curtis. I'm not sure if this track has ever been repaved or if it's been repaved in the current generation of Camping World Series truck race. And I know Camping World Series has been racing here for a couple of years now in a row. It looks like James Somke in that number 1 is caught back up to the 101 of David Gainforth. Just cannot quite make the pass, and that's allowing Mark Jackson to catch to the right to the bumper of the number 1 of James Somke. So one of these guys will probably get around David here shortly.
Yeah.
Any other battles?
I'm seeing a lot of trucks start to wiggle, and it looks like Gerald Campbell was trying to get the run on Gary Sexton coming out of 4 that last time. Sexton got the run on the outside, but Campbell taking a little bit of a lower line. He gets to the inside of Sexton for just a second. Still got the quarter, but Sexton clears him coming out of turn 2. Dustin Lee coming behind them with a little bit of damage on that truck. I'm sure he wouldn't mind another caution to try and get that fender banged out a little bit better.
Absolutely. Under caution, you can't have the pit crew guys come over the wall and do some work on your truck. And hopefully that'll make your truck a tad bit faster. This track is not extremely aero sensitive. You definitely don't want to have any kind of a fender rub, so you can make your fastest times. And I did want to go back and report on Mark Jackson, that number 3. He was able to actually pass the number 1 of James Somke and the 101 of Mr. Bubble of David Gainforth. And real quick, for another Domino's driver profile, the number 3 of Mark Jackson, he is driving that Chevrolet Silverado. He is from Wichita, Kansas. His sponsor is Over the Top Paints and PAD, People Against Distracted Driving. He's been racing in sim for 17 years, Curtis. He has raced in local street class bracket racing. He has got 40 wins and 772 starts in iRacing, 200 top 5s, and he wants to give special thanks to John Hendrick, who does make these fantastic over-the-top paints on several trucks here in the field tonight. He also wants to give special thanks to his fiancée, Kristen Phillips. And he also wants to give special thanks to Southeast Motorsports.
Yeah, and right now, Gary Sexton, Gerald Campbell, and Dustin Lee battling pretty hard. They haven't been side by side, but they're almost bumper to bumper to bumper right now. Campbell has been trying really hard in that number 6 to get by the 17 of Gary Sexton. Not sure if he's burning the tires up a little bit or if he's being held up by that 17 machine, but 32 has reeled them in the time being, even with that little bit of damage. I saw Dustin back in about the 12th position on that last run, and then they had the caution. He got quite a bit of it banged out, I think, under getting repairs there. So back up to a top 5 position, qualified in 7th tonight, and looking to move forward.
Yes, real quick, Dustin Lee in that 32. He's in that Olive Hill Welding Chevy Silverado. He's having a good run. That's a beautiful truck paint scheme on there tonight. Also think that he is also one of those over-the-top paints and designs, classic paints by John Hendrick, who does a great job painting these trucks. Fans, also want to remind you, you have got less than 7, almost 6 laps to get your pick in for the free pizza. You can do that by texting 919-883-7497. Some of the drivers you do not want to pick, who have already been picked, are Jeff Martin. Gary Sexton's been picked. Kristen Phillips has picked Mark Jackson. That's her fiance. Just talked about him in that number 3. Dustin Lee has been picked. It looks like Tim Cox has been picked. So you don't want to pick those.
Now, Mark Jackson's fiance already won, didn't she? And Mark got to enjoy some of that pizza. Is that correct?
Exactly.
Yeah, so Mark qualified in 5th tonight. He's back in 12th. Like I said, he's in 12th right now. I think something must have happened to him on that last pit cycle. He must have got a speeding penalty or something that we didn't see. He's got a little bit of damage on his rear spoiler, but that shouldn't affect him too much. He's kind of stuck in the 12th position right now. He's 12 seconds back, so I think he's definitely actually got a problem that we aren't aware of in that number 3 machine, because he qualified in 5th tonight, and I thought he'd be running up there a little bit farther. He usually does every single week.
Yeah, I think on that last restart, when the 72 stayed out and chose the outside line, which, by the way, Ivan Garcia did an excellent job with those old tires.
He's all 20th place now, actually.
Yeah, he's like, yes, sir.
72 machines, so.
Yeah, he lost a lot of positions.
Call, but he's managed to stay on the lead lap for the time being.
Yeah, during that restart, I think there was a little bit of a checkup, and a truck got into the back of Mark Jackson. That's where he got that little bit of rear spoiler damage. Could be slowing him up a little bit. I think I saw him go through the grass. He might have lost most of those 10 positions right then and there.
Anthony Kessler in the 98 machine looks as strong as he has all season. He's out to a 1.7 second lead. He has been a strong truck all season. Top 10 every race for the most part, unless he gets something negative go his way, but he just seems to be really fast at this track here tonight. A lot faster than anybody else on the long run, and even on the short run he's been able to pull out really quickly. So the only other person that even has been close tonight is that number 6 of Gerald Campbell. So Andrew Kessler, barring another mistake on his part to stay out on tires, definitely the truck to beat here tonight in that number 98 machine.
Yeah, one thing for sure, Curtis, we've had 3 different practice sessions here on this 1.25 mile pretty flat oval here at Gateway Motorsports Park. Again, fans, you're watching the Serve Pro 188, and a lot of drivers participated, but drivers who put in the most practice or who have practiced at this track in other race events or venues obviously are going to have better experience on how to get through these corners with the most speed possible. Momentum is really big in these trucks. As you know, Curtis, you won many races. So keeping the momentum up, meaning taking the right line through the corner to not wear out.
We headed down pit road in his number 70 machine.
Yeah, I heard that over the radio. So obviously Andrew Kessler put in a lot of time in practice. And another thing that's interesting, as we follow the number 70 truck real quick down pit road while we're green, these drivers, Curtis, have to come in pit road on a service road way back before you even enter turn 3. They've got to keep this truck down to, it looks like 45 miles an hour or slower. Tim is doing a great job in that JTM Motorsports Chevrolet Silverado. He's going to pull it into his pit stall here, it looks like. It's like they're just creeping down pit road. As he comes to a great stop, he stays in his box. Looks like the right side's going up. He's getting 2 Goodyear Eagle tires on the right side as 1 can of Sunoco Racing Fuel goes in. Left side goes up. He's getting the 2nd can of Sunoco Racing Fuel, and he is down and away, and he will be the first to take new tires here on the pit cycle. I'm not sure if he's going to make it to the end here or not. I don't think so, but he'll definitely have the benefit of the new tires, Curtis.
Yeah, and although Tim Rangers is laps down, green flag pit stops is definitely something worth talking about. With that pit access road, there is a lot of time that can be made up or lost heading onto pit road and off of pit road. So it's not only, if this race does go green, it's not only about who's the fastest out on the track, but it's about who's the fastest getting on and off of pit road. A lot of times in the real NASCAR races, you'll see them put up the driver's stats for the 2 laps where they were on their in and their out lap and their combined times, and with the pit stop and all. And I think Kyle Busch is one of the best at it in real life, but we'll see who can get it done here tonight. Hopefully under green flag pit stops. If we can get a caution, not get a caution before lap, probably about 125. I think we'll see one. Or probably a little bit sooner than that, lap 110.
Yes, sir, Curtis. That's a great analogy, and I was thinking of the exact same driver. Kyle Busch is excellent. I've said this before, Curtis, and I don't know much, but one thing I do know, covering these races in this Domino's TYJ Racing family of leagues, to win one of these races with the stiff competition we have, you've got to be perfect or near perfect in every every facet of these races. You've got to be a talented driver. You've got to have a great crew chief calling the great calls. You've got to have a great spotter, making sure you're clear when you're making passes or being passed. And then on pit road, like you just said, Curtis, you've got to be able to enter pit road as fast as you can without speeding, not speeding any of the time loops there on the pit road. Your pit crew's got to be almost flawless, changing the tires, not dropping lug nuts, not dropping the fuel can. You got to get off the pit road as quick as you can without speeding as well. Then you got to have strategy. When to pit. Do you pit early, short pit, and get the benefit of new tires? Do you pit late and hope for a caution? It happens both ways here in our league. And the last thing, Curtis, and this maybe is the biggest one, you got to have good old luck on your side to win one of these races, because sometimes if you've got luck, you make the great pit call and you trap trucks down a lap, or you get unlucky and you get trapped down a lap.
And right now, I mean, Andrew Kessler is still just pulling away like crazy. I can't believe his dominance here tonight. I mean, like I said, I know he's been running in the top 10 the entirety of the night, but or the entirety of the season, sorry, but he's just putting on a dominant performance here tonight at Gateway Motorsports Park. And another thing that, going back on what you said, what you need to go for you that wins the race, you need luck. I mean, you can have all of those things that we just talked about going for you and have a caution come out with 10 laps to go. You stay out on the track, everybody goes and takes new tires, and you're just not able to hold them off on those 30 to 40 lap old tires, and there's nothing you can do about it. So you definitely need absolutely everything to go your way in order to win a race. I mean, it doesn't matter how good you are.
Absolutely right, Curtis. It looks like right now, we just talked about Tim Renders with that 70. He has those brand new Goodyear Eagles. Looks like he's catching up to the 44. The 44, that would be Ray Richard. And we have that caution that's going to be lucky for some drivers and unlucky for others, as we'll get that pulled up.
Looks like the 19 of Tim Cox goes around. It looks like he might have broken a little bit sideways on downshift there, and then just came onto the grass, came back up on the track, just could never regain control. Judd Danielson just barely misses him, but 19 machine goes around and triggers the caution there.
Yes, sir, Curtis, that'll happen a lot. I noticed when I was in that final happy hour of practice, we did mention that these trucks are able to downshift. It looks like he was actually loose, yeah. As it probably downshifted or just got loose in the middle of the corner, went into the grass, overcorrected, just almost caught Judd Danielson, that 85, and the number 1 of James Homke, but it looks like nobody else was collected in that one. So we've been fortunate not to have any big ones tonight, Curtis. And this is definitely going to set us up for the leaders coming down pit road on equal time to get their brand new tires and fuel. So we'll cover pit stops here. As they get slowed down behind the pace car. Curtis, what are you seeing here on the pit stops?
Andrew Kessler is leading them down pit lane right now with Shane Parrish right behind them, and Gary Sexton back up to the 3rd position. I know he's been running inside the top 5. I'm not sure if he was holding on to 3rd. Actually, yeah, he was holding on to 3rd there, my mistake. So he was just a little bit far back off of Andrew Kessler, as was Shane Parrish. So
yeah, I'm going to cover Gary in the pit stop. He pulls into his box. It looks like he might have overshot it. He had to back up just a tad. That's going to cost him a few seconds. Looks like the pit guys had to wait a second. The truck is up. 2 tires on the right side. 1 can of Sunoco racing fuel going in. The left sides are up. 2nd can of Sunoco fuel going in. And the jack drops. Looks like they made an adjustment on the front of the truck. And Gary Sexton is off, but he definitely lost a second or 2 on pit road here.
Yeah, and it looks like Shane Parrish actually gets by the number 98 of Andrew Kessler, so I'm not sure if he had an issue there.
Yeah, that's great for Shane. Sometimes you have that really quick pit stop, and sometimes you just have a little issue like Gary Sexton did. It'll cost you a couple seconds, so it looks like Gary's going to come back out in 5th position. But I tell you what, even the other drivers are really interested in what the 81 Shane Parrish did on pit road. And with that, we're going to take our final commercial break real quick, fans. You are watching the Serve Pro 188 live on All Pro Broadcasting here from Gateway Motorsports Park. We'll be right back for the green flag.
It was more than impressive, I have to say. I mean, the track is identical to the real track. I was blown away how realistic it is. Every little bump, every little spray paint, everything is exactly like you were there at the track. It was a great experience. This is a warm-up lap now. Tires to get warmed up. The engine. Breathe a little bit here when you go through that little bump there. And then it's flat pretty much all the way through here, just about. Hard braking. This is the slowest part of the track. And then I've done, I did many races in Formula 3, Formula 2. And then I did the very last race they did there in Group C in 1983 in the 956 Porsche. That's when Beloff got the lap record at the 6:11. I think I was second on the grid with the 6:14 or something. Which was, I mean, those cars were awesome around there, of course, like any car is, that speed. And this is the corner of all corners here, the Schwerenkreuz. Flat all the way into it. And then trail brake all the way into the apex here. And then hard at it again, get good speed down the hill here. Mega fast down this hill here. Just jump from one apex to the next. Gotta be super precise here. I mean, it's almost exactly like the real thing. So, I mean, it is certainly realistic enough to get past the very, a lot of the initial hurdles you have when you try to learn to drive a race car, So, I mean, I think it's an excellent tool to learn how to race for sure, or learn to drive a car on a racetrack.
Does your home suffer from paint failure? It's time to paint the exterior of your home if it's suffering from caulking, peeling, blistering or dried wood, fading or bleaching, cracked or stained stucco. Have the Arizona Painting Company make your home look like new again. With our Gold Package, we offer the best and only 10-year paint warranty in Arizona. Our crews are experienced, well-trained, friendly, and best of all, they'll make sure you're 100% satisfied. Choose the best. Choose the Arizona Painting Company. Visit us online or call today and ask about our 10-year Gold Package paint warranty.
Welcome back, race fans. We're at the restart. Looks like Shane Parrish in that 81 Surf Pro gets a great jump with Andrew Kessler in the 98 on the inside as he's getting some heat on the outside by the number 6 of Gerald Campbell. What are you seeing, Curtis?
It looks like, Shane Parrish gets the start he wants there And but Andrew Kessler right on the back bumper, looking to the inside before they even get to turn number 3. We'll see if he can make the pass. Kessler looking to go back to the lead as he puts it almost down to those rumble strips in the middle of turn number 3 and 4.
Yes, they are side by
off of turn 4, and Kessler is going to be back to the lead by the time they cross the straight.
Shane Parrish is definitely fighting back on the outside. He's going to think better about pushing the issue right now. We still have almost 65, 70 laps to go here, Curtis. So there's still a lot of racing to go.
Yeah,
like
over 110 laps remaining on the night, and
not quite that many.
Our top 5 or 10 drivers have been relatively unchanged all night. You've had Kessler, Shane Parrish, Gerald Campbell, Vernon Margheim, Jeff Martin, and Gary Sexton. Those guys have been up there pretty much the entire night. So Mark Jackson's also made his way back into 10th, it looks like.
Yes, Curtis, there's about 61 laps left. Sorry for the confusion, fans, but this is 150 laps, which would actually be 188 miles here at the 1.25 mile oval here, Curtis. Didn't mean to confuse folks. So we got tight racing. Jeff T. Martin, the 15 is trying to get around. Looks like the 33, Vernon Margheim. They are fighting hard here. Looks like they upshift, and it's a drag race. Looks like down the front stretch, as I think they're still side by side, Curtis. I don't know who's going to win this one. And go ahead.
Sorry, Ray Richer side by side with the number 4 William Locklear. He was side by side with Mark Jackson. He gets it going on the outside there. He clears William Locklear. Mark Jackson just made the pass on him, and right behind them, Jack Watson, the 66 machine's looking below the 4 of William Locklear.
Yes, we haven't talked much about Jack Watts tonight. Jack started in 21st. He's up to 12th. He's in that Southeast Motorsports Chevrolet Silverado. Also on that truck tonight, he has got PAD, People Against Distracted Driving, as well as Southeast Motorsports. He's having a good run tonight. These trucks are all over each other at this restart with these brand new tires, and they're doing an excellent job of keeping it clean and green here.
Yeah, and I'm really looking for Mark Jackson in that number 3 machine to make his way back up there. If he did have a little bit of damage to deal with, he had a chance to repair at least a little bit of it there. He's back up in 9th, so he obviously didn't lose very much time on pit road. Maybe that was just a bad run for him that last time.
It could be, And up front, it definitely looks like we still have Andrew Kessler leading with Shane Parrish. It looks like he is right at about 1 second back. Another almost 1 second back from him is Gerald Campbell. You see any battles back in the back of the pack there, Curtis?
Right now, looking like a lot of these guys are single filed out. I can't even really find anybody that's side by side at the moment.
Yeah, I was going to talk about some of these guys kind of further in the back that have made some moves up forward or who have actually dropped. Looks like William Locklear in that number 4 machine, that Monster Army, Monster Energy, and we have another caution out. We'll get that pulled up real quick.
Judd Danielson goes around. Hard hit into the wall for that number 85.
Yes, we'll get the replay pulled up, and that is definitely looks like what happened. Judd Danielson, that 85 Domino's TYJ truck. Looks like he got on
downshifting. Everybody on the downshift. If you do it just a little bit too early, you got the RPMs up, it'll lock up the tires a little bit and really upset that truck, and I think that's what happened to Judd there.
And he almost had it completely saved, and looks like almost nobody got into him there except for maybe, perhaps, that would be, hold on one quick second, the 45 of Sean Kalis in that Eris.com Toyota Tundra might have got a tad of damage there. Maybe not even any damage. I'm not even sure. But anyway, everybody did a great job avoiding Judd. Looks like primarily another single truck spin, which we're happy to see here, instead of the big one, which hopefully we don't have tonight, Curtis. And here comes some strategy questions for you, Curtis. You're the truck driver. You're the champion from 2016. These guys just had pit stops. They just got new tires. Is anybody going to come down and get maybe 2 tires?
I don't think so. I mean, maybe, but I don't think so. At this point, these guys know they could probably make it on fuel to go to the end, so I don't think they want to take that risk.
Some trucks are on pit road. It looks like the 44 of Ray Richer. I see a lot of activity. The 3 of Mark Jackson. Finished the pit stop. William Locklear. Trying to get a better view of who actually went in. Obviously, it wasn't the very front drivers. Let's see here.
Danielson's still sitting on pit as he pulls it out right now. He's getting some damage repaired. We'll see if Judd can still run decent. Not the best of nights for Judd even before that happened, but we'll see if he can stay on the lead lap.
Yeah, it looks like Michael Fravert, Tim B. Cox, Mark Jackson, Dustin Lee, William Locklear, Ray Richer, Chad Payne, James Sonke, David Gainforth, and Sean Kalis came down pit road that time. So those drivers were kind of near the middle of the pack. They are going to have brand new fresh rubber, and at this point, we're going to have right at 51 laps remaining on this restart. We did hear earlier in the race, most of these trucks can make it 50 laps. So this could be a great strategy call here.
Yeah, I'm sure these guys are going to be saving fuel under caution to hopefully make it to the end if they go green. I'm sure these guys don't want to pit if they don't have to because there's so much time to be lost and gained on pit road.
Yes, sir, Curtis. So we're definitely going to have an interesting last 51 laps here. Again, I just want to mention a couple words about our sponsor again tonight. That is the you're watching the Serve Pro 188 at Gateway Motorsports Park. Serve Pro. When an emergency happens, call 1-800-SERVE-PRO. Serve Pro will make it like it never even happened. Any kind of emergency you might have at your home, family, friends and family, whether it's, like I said, a hot water heater exploding. You might even have a hurricane issue. You could have a tornado. Unfortunately, we'd hope none of this happens to any of our fans. You could have a fire. Any kind of damage to your home, call 1-800-SERVE-PRO. They will make it like it never even happened. They have the fastest response time of anybody. For any kind of disaster, they are ready for whatever happens. Obviously, Shane Parrish is out of Grapevine, Texas, there are over a total of 1,800 different franchises in the United States. So fans, anytime you have an emergency, make sure you call 1-800-SERVE-PRO.
And Gerald Campbell taking the outside line on this restart yet again, and Gary Sexton is going to get a chance to start in second there. And get a chance to start from that front row on the inside, and we'll see what Andy Kessler can do down into turn 1 starting from the inside in the 3rd position there.
Yes, so the top restarters, like you said, Gerald Campbell, Gary Sexton, Andrew Kessler 3rd, Shane Parrish 4th, Vernon Morgan 5th, and the green's out, Curtis. I'll let you take this.
Yeah, Gerald Campbell, he's pretty much mastered those restarts from the outside lane there. He gets the jump on pretty much everybody, but... Oh, and the 81 of Shane Parrish sideways and around.
Caution is out.
Yes, it looks like we'll get the replay pulled up right away.
Looks like he got a little bit of help from the number 36 Twinkies machine of Michael Fravert. And then William Locklear comes along, hits him, and oh, Ray Richer gets involved.
Yeah, these restarts, as y'all have always heard, cautions, precautions. These guys were trying to get everything they can with these last few laps to go. Looks like the 36 of Michael Fravert just had a later braking point than the 81 of Shane Parrish. These trucks are already on the edge of traction, edge of control as they're in these corners. And one little touch like the 36 gave the 81 just spun him around. And unfortunately, a few other vehicles were definitely caught up in that one. Looks like William Locklear in the number 4 had heavy impact.
I think I don't know if these guys know that they're going to be short on fuel. I'm sure they're going to come down pit road. Some of these guys might think, I'm going to gamble, I'm going to try and go for that track position, but we'll just have to wait and see. I think these guys could have came down that last time by, and they did.
Yeah, it'll be very, very interesting.
Actually, no, there's only...
It looks like
3 or 4 trucks at state. Oh, here comes the...
Some of these leaders may actually stay out if they're saving fuel.
Yeah, I think these guys will be saving fuel. Like I said, if they don't come down right now, I mean, they are right on the edge of making it. If it's a 50-lap run, that's 55 laps they would have ran to the end. Caution, you can save it a bit, but you can only go 50 green laps. We got 50 to go right now, so I mean, if they were to run it right now on a full tank, that's about as far as they could go, so they got some work to do.
Yeah, it's going to be right on the money here. I think pretty much if everybody, save some fuel here, save some fuel later, they will probably be okay here.
And all night it's been that 6 of Gerald Campbell and the 98 of Andy Kessler. Going back and forth. Campbell seems to get the jump on pit lane, or Kessler's having trouble on pit lane or something, but there's just not a lot that anybody can do about the 98 speed right now.
And tell us, is this going to change anything up? Do you think anybody who came in earlier and had that pit stop and topped off, maybe those drivers will be have a surprise strategy here?
Yeah, they might. I mean, like, if there is anybody who just came down pit road, they got a lot better shot of making it to the end of those guys who didn't come down pit road. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. Hopefully they can run it to the end without another caution. If they get another one, I'm sure that pretty much everybody's going to come down and get new tires, make sure that they make it to the end.
Yeah, one thing for sure, these trucks have put a lot of rubber down on the track tonight. Like we mentioned earlier, this is an age. This surface has a lot of age on it, this asphalt. So this restart's going to be interesting. And it'll be interesting to find out if the track has more grip or less grip than it had before. I'm going to try to get a hold of a driver, Curtis, if you want to go over anything else interesting to yourself. Although the lights are out on the pace car, I don't think we have time for a quick interview.
Let's get another shot of Gerald Campbell's helmet. I know we had the free pizza giveaway layered over it last week, so take a good look inside the 6's cockpit. Get a look at that cool blue helmet with the face on it. Definitely one of my favorite helmets out there. It's actually available on Trading Paints. You guys are watching and you want something like it, there are other ones like that, so definitely one of the more unique helmets that I've seen.
Yes, sir. Curtis just heard from some of the communication. Some of the drivers are talking about how the track has gotten a little bit slicker with a little bit more rubber on it now. They're saying the back end wants to come around a little more. So these drivers are going to have to really pull the gloves up, tighten the seat belts, and keep their hands on the wheels. And I'll let you take this restart, Curtis.
Yep, Gerald Campbell electing the outside yet again with Kessler to his inside. And we'll see if Kessler can stay at his inside. Campbell gets going. He held them up quite a bit longer that last time than he has before. And Kessler just couldn't get on it as quick as him. He was hoping to be side by side as they headed down into turn 1, but couldn't get the job done. He holds on to the second position with Margheim digging hard behind him for second.
Yes, sir. The rules of our league are, Curtis, the leader can go as soon as the pace car goes in, or he can wait until the green flag actually comes out. And that time he made a very legal move, and he's getting all kind of pressure right now from Andrew Kessler in the 98. As Andrew's looking to the inside of him as they scream down the front stretch across the start-finish line. Looks like Andrew's going to have the preferred line into turn 1.
And again, there's not much anybody can do to hold off that 98 machine right now. It's going to take a miracle for him not to win tonight. It'll be his first win in the Dented Fenders Truck Series if he can get it done. As he almost gets up into the... That was scary. That's about scary moment number 3 or 4 for that number 98 machine tonight.
Yeah, I tell you what, anything can happen. The race isn't over. Until the last lap, he could have a big mistake. He could have a tire go. If we run these last 50 laps without another pit stop, these tires are definitely going to be worn out. These drivers are going to be holding on for everything they can.
And Judd Danielson side by side for the 9th position with Jeff Martin. Judd, what's he doing up in the top 10? He hasn't been up there all night. He wrecks it, and now he finds himself up in the top 10. So, Judd,
I don't know. Yeah, he started back in 17th.
He knocked some sense into himself or something that time. He's driving it a lot better now. He's up and battling for that 8th position, as he tries to get the run on Jeff Martin, and David Gainforth actually looks below him for the 9th position.
Yeah, David will clear that 85 of Judd Danielson. That's going to bring Chad Payne in that office HQ, number 9 right behind him. Yeah. Looks like we have another caution here.
And it looks like the 36 Twinkies machine into number 44 of Ray Richer, and Ivan Garcia slows it down as much as he can, gets a little bit of contact with the 4 of Ray Richer and the 4 of William Locklear there.
Yeah, I was just going to say Chad Payne probably had either a good talking to by the crew chief, or they gave him a brand new thing of Gatorade or something. And I'll let you cover this for a few minutes. Curtis, I'll be back in just a few as I review some of this video.
10-4, Robert. I'm sure we're going to see a lot of these guys come down pit road this time and make sure that they can make it to the end. Looks like Kessler is going to bypass it with Campbell headed down there. Markheim headed down there. Sexton and Jackson, everybody else is coming down pit road, and that could be the race-winning move for one of these drivers, as Kessler stuck out on the track on older tires yet again. And I mean, if they run it to the end now, that could spell disaster for that number 98 machine. He has been the fastest truck here all night, and he's been getting loose. He's been driving that truck hard. And
it looks like it's going to definitely be an interesting strategy here for the end of the race. As some drivers do pit and some others. And it looks like we had some
98,
other contact after that original caution. Looks like drivers could not... Sorry, fans, we had a slight technical issue there. I think the power grid to our number 1 power truck went out. Lightning strike a few miles away here from the track, but we are back here with you live, and you're not going to miss a thing here. It looks like we're getting ready to have our restart. Looks like the 36 has taken his truck behind the wall after that contact. So we're going to see how this restart's going to go. Again, fans, you are watching the Serve Pro 188 live on All Pro Broadcasting here from Madison, Illinois, the Gateway Motorsports Park. The St. Louis Arch is just minutes away from here. As the sun sets, you can almost see the shadow of that. Right down the road, you can almost smell the barbecue, and you can almost hear the blues music from St. Louis. We're right down the road in Madison. You're live back here. I don't know if it's in the broadcast. I'd have to turn it up there. Again, fans, if you can hear us, we're trying to get everything reconnected here. Thanks for being patient with us. And yes, we do have our technical issues resolved. Getting ready here for the restart. Looks like, fans, we're going to have exactly 39 laps to go. Just for the running order, we do have Andrew Kessler. To his outside, we have the 76 of Gene Collin running second. He qualified all the way back in 18th. We have Jeff T. Martin, Gerald Campbell, Vernon Margine, Mark Jackson, Gary Sixton, Tim B. Cox, Dustin Lee, and James Sonke in the top 10. And fans, we're going to cover this restart here with, like I said, 39 laps to go. And this is going to be some very exciting racing as the base car goes in. And we are back to green as Andrew Kessler gets a great jump in that Chef Andy's Lobsters Roll number 98 Toyota Tundra. Looks like he's got a 4-5-6 car advantage here as they go screaming into turn one, and the 76 overshoots and gets into the wall. Looks like in second, Jeff T. Martin is going to inherit the second position, and behind him, Gerald Campbell. Then we have Vernon Margine in, it looks like, fourth, and Mark Jackson in the number 3 right behind him as they dive into, it looks like, turn 3. But coming out of turn 3 and 4, it looks like Andrew Kessler is going to maintain that number 1 position for now. And the trucks are single file behind him. We did have the 76 truck of Gene Collin get into the wall there. No other trucks were involved, and he is moving on. So he restarted second, falling all the way back to 16th. But hopefully he can rebound and have a good finish here tonight. Also, looks like we have Ray Richer, who was involved in that previous caution there. He has got rebounding out to 14th. He got him 4 brand new Goodyear Eagles and enough fuel to make it to the end. He's running in 14th, hoping to pick up some more positions. In front of him, we have side-by-side racing. Looks like the number 1 of James Sonke has the 66 of Jack Watts getting a great run down the front stretch. Jack will dive into turn 1, but James dives in a little bit deeper on the outside there in the number 1. This is going to be another drag race off of turn number 2 going down the backstretch as James Sonke in that number 1 just barely tags the wall, loses a tad of momentum, and Jack Watts will cleanly make that pass. In front of him, we have David Gainforth in that 101 Bubbles. Mr. Bubbles up 9th position. And he is following the 19 of Tim B. Cox, who's up to 8th. We've got Dustin Lee in that 32 truck up to 7th. Gary Sexton in that 17. Domino's TYJ Racing Dirt Renegade Series. He's up to 6th now. Vernon Margine had a little bit of contact under the pace laps of that last one, but it looks like it has not slowed him down at all. Vernon is still up in 5th position. So we got side-by-side between Gerald Campbell, Jeff T. Martin. You can almost throw a blanket over these trucks here. We got Jeff T. Martin trying to make a move on the outside, and Gerald Campbell is trying to stick with him as they go down the front stretch crossing the start-finish. Gerald's going to try to get a Fender inside, but he will fall back in line behind the 15 as they dive into turn 1. And Mark Jackson, like I said, is all the way up to 4th. Gerald Campbell's right on the back bumper of Jeff T. Martin. He gets a little bit loose, trying to make a run on the outside. He had to get out of the gas just a hair, and that's going to give, looks like Mark Jackson, what he needed to get to the outside. Will Mark be able to complete this pass on the outside as Gerald Campbell dives it back in underneath him? And that's going to bring Vernon Margine in that 33 right back up to him. This is a 3-way battle looking for number 4th as Vernon gets in the wall a little bit. These guys are really pushing these trucks to get everything they can for these last 35 laps of the race. Hopefully they'll have a little bit enough rubber on the tires that they will be able to make some moves when they need to. But you heard the Satan, you got to get it while it's getting good. And with these brand new tires, you got to get every position you can. And up front, it looks like Andrew Kessler is definitely stretching it out. Andrew's got a 1.4 second advantage over Jeff T. Martin. It looks like 0.4 of a second behind him is Mark Jackson. And a little further back in the field, it looks like we are single file first through about 10th. We do have side-by-side action. Looks like David Gainforth is getting some pressure from the 66 of Jack Watts. 66, excuse me, fans. He is finally making some moves. Looks like he's going to stay behind the 101 of David Gainforth at this time. Probably will size him up for a pass here in a few more laps. Further behind him,
turn number 4, Sexton has the fender on Margheim. He looks to get the run and he doesn't, and he pulls back up in front of that number 32 machine of Dustin Lee. Throw those 3 trucks under a blanket as they head down to turn 1.
Yes, sir, Curtis. It seems like we all experienced a little bit of technical difficulty with our power truck number 1 out in the parking lot. That lightning strike about 10 miles away, just 10 miles away, gave us some issues, but we are back live. Curtis in the booth, I'm in the booth, Michael D'Amico running the cameras. Thank you for being patient, fans. One of you will win that large 3-topping pizza tonight, and we've got battles all over the track, Curtis. Looks like the 6 of Gerald Campbell is finally making a move on underneath the 15 of Jeff T. Martin. And they're side by side going into turn 3, I think. Mark Jackson has been able to clear him, so Mark Jackson in that number 3 over the top paints. Southeast Motorsports is going to set sail and try to track down Andrew Kessler. Curtis, nobody's been able to do that tonight. Maybe Mark Jackson, now that he's got the little bit of clean air, will be able to shrink that gap.
Yeah, and Andrew Kessler, I can't believe this. He's out to almost a 2-second lead on 10 lap older tires than everybody else. He's definitely the class of the field tonight. I can't stress it enough. I mean, it's going to take a miracle to take this guy off the top of the board tonight. He's been running strong all night, and the only question is if he can make it to the end on fuel.
That is true. Hopefully he saves some fuel under that last caution. Is he going to be able to save any fuel here under green flag conditions, Curtis? You've driven these trucks many times. Not so sure how many laps you put on this track, but is he going to be able to clutch it as he gets it into the corners and save some fuel, or what do you think?
Well, I think the most he can do is probably you are rolling it quite a bit through the center of these corners, but I really don't think you can let off, like put the clutch in completely and save that much. I think the only way you can really save more is keeping it in 4th gear, and I think you can be pretty much just as fast keeping it in 4th gear, and maybe as the tire run goes on, that's what some of these guys are doing, is they're getting wiggly coming off the corners, so maybe that's the smarter thing to do, is keep it in 4th gear as the run goes on, but I really don't know. I don't have a lot of experience at this track, as I stated earlier in our broadcast here, but
it looks like Mark Jackson did cut 1/10 of a second off of the lead there of Andrew Kessler, so it'll be interesting to see if Mark is going to be able to shave this deficit down as we go forward. I'm going to look a little bit further back in the pack as these guys are definitely driving it hard. Looks like the 17 of Gary Sexton drove it in pretty hard, was able to maintain control of his truck, and he's getting a great run on the 33 of Vernon Margheim. He's going to look to the inside as they come down, looks like the front stretch, and he is able to clear him and make a clean pass as they go off into turn 1. So that'll move Gary Sexton up to the 4th position.
a lot of single file all around the track. Can't really find anybody side by side again. I mean,
I want to throw a big shout out here to one of our brand newest drivers in the field, Sean Kalis, in that 45 Eris.com truck. He practice time tonight, Curtis, was 24th. I could almost guarantee you he never saw this track before this weekend. He's not a rookie, but in NASCAR you could almost call him a rookie. First time on this track, I'm sure, like his third race in our series, Curtis. And he has moved up from a 19th starting position all the way up to 15th. And if he's able to maintain this, he might be able to get around the 9 of the Office HQ truck of Chad Payne and move himself up into 14th. With a couple of lucky breaks, he could even make it in the top 10. As he is definitely looking at the inside right now of the 9 of Chad Payne. Sean Kalis is going to, looks like, driving in on the inside. And Chad's going to battle back hard on the outside. Sean has got half a truck length advantage. They both come off the corner. Looks like Chad is making it a real fight here. As they're side by side, going down the front stretch. And for now, Chad will maintain that position. What are you seeing up front?
Up front, it's still all Andrew Kessler, but I was going to say Sean Kalis in that 45. He's been making a lot of effort to get better. I've seen him heard him asking a lot of drivers for input, constructive criticism, just overall what they think he can do to be a better driver. And sometimes that's a little bit of a tough thing to do. You think you're a good driver just because everybody wants to think they're a good driver, but Sean Kalis, he's been asking for a lot of help since he joined the league, just to try and get better, try and race these guys how they want to be raced, and he's doing a pretty good job of it. He got a little bit close to Chad Payne there, and I heard him say sorry over the radio, so they didn't even touch, and Sean Kalis was sorry for getting close to Chad Payne, so it just shows the kind of guy that he is, driving that number 45 Aris Toyota Tundra, and look for him to improve as the season progresses.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Curtis. A lot of people have noticed that, and that's one other thing, fans that are watching the race tonight. In our family of series here, Domino's TYJ Racing family of series, we've got the Dirt Series starting in a few weeks. We've got our Dented Fender Truck Series you're watching tonight. Thursday night, tomorrow night, you do not want to miss our premier Xfinity race at Richmond International Raceway. And a week from Thursday, we're going to have our Top Shelf Cup race at Richmond. Of course, we'll be back here next Wednesday night for our trucks. But drivers that are able to qualify for a position on the roster with Domino's TYJ Racing, Curtis, as you know, they get as much help as they are asking for. We've got a lot of very talented drivers, been around for a couple of years with us, and maybe another 5 years before that with the experience before they even showed up at the front door of Domino's TYJ Racing. And that's one thing most every driver, especially our veteran drivers in the field tomorrow night and next Thursday that were here last year, most of them are twice the driver they were when they just first started out. So it looks like the last truck now on the lead lap is Gene Coleman, that 76 Interstate Batteries truck.
Oh, Garrett Sexton gets tight. Sorry, Garrett Sexton from that 5th position gets real tight, or real loose. I didn't see. He's got a little bit of damage on his fender. Didn't happen to see if he slapped the wall, but he was real slow coming out of turn 2 that last time. Got passed by Margheim and Dustin Lee.
As he's making a move on the outside right now of Margheim and Jack Watts. It looks like they got slowed down a little bit themselves, and Gary must have got his momentum back up as he's making a move on the outside of Vernon Margheim. He's also going to make a move, it looks like, on the 66 of Jack Watts. I think what's happening right now, Curtis, these trucks' tires are definitely wearing out, and the drivers who abused them in the first 10, 20 laps of this run are now having to pay the price.
20 laps to go, Robert, and can we make it to the end green flag, and can Andrew Kessler make it to the end green flag if we do go the distance? His last time down pit road was on lap 95, but we have had 2 or 3 cautions since then where I'm sure that he was saving fuel, so he's been maintaining the gap on that number 3 of Mark Jackson. He hasn't been pulling away like he was before, so we'll see if those tires can hold out for the rest of the race.
Yes, and Mark Jackson, he's either saving his stuff for the next 10, 15 laps. We'll be very interested to see if he makes a big move here, as he is right up against that wall coming off turn, looks like turn number 4. These trucks are these drivers are getting every single thing they can get out of these trucks, right up against the wall, taking that big arc in. Looks like Mark Jackson's taking that middle groove, and Andrew Kessler's actually moved up off the bottom groove to the middle groove to make more better time, or maybe to save some more on the tires.
Yeah, these tires, especially turn 1, is so tight that it's just, you really gotta, the fastest way on older tires is to roll it up through the corner a little bit. You just can't get the run off if you're holding it down on the bottom, and it wants to break loose on throttle. So, but Mark Jackson in that 3 machine, he's looking to get his wife and himself another free pizza. He's had a back and forth night tonight. He was back outside the top 10 for a little bit, had to fight his way back up. He's solidly in second position right now, though 2 seconds back to third place of Gerald Campbell, but Jeff Martin is 6 seconds back, with Dustin Lee 7 seconds back, rounding out your top 5. And sorry, Jeff Martin is actually a little bit closer to 7 seconds back.
Then we got a battle brewing here between the 85 of Judd Danielson and the number 1 truck of James Somke. They got Ray Richard right behind them. It looks like Judd has caught up. He's on the inside of the one of James Somke as they're coming off the corner. But think James almost touches the wall. This is a drag race again. We've said that all night long down the front stretch across start finish. And these trucks are so equally put together as far as horsepower goes. Looks like Judd keeps trying that inside groove. Again, he gets close to getting right beside James Somke. And coming out of the corner there, corner number 2. Down the back stretch, we have another side-by-side drag race. It's going to be who can push it in the furthest and maintain control.
Judd Danielson, these guys are just having the rubber band effect through the corner. You can see where these guys are stabbing the gas as one of them gets ahead of another, but ultimately it's the run off of the corner where you can get on the gas and stay on it is where you need to get that run. So Ray Richard behind the one of James Somke, looking to get that position on the 1 machine as Judd Danielson gets a huge run that time. Maybe Somke, a little bit of a mistake, and Ray Richard looks to make the passes ahead of to turn 3, and he clears them before they even hit turn 4.
We got another battle brewing up between the 32 of Dustin Lee and Jeff T. Martin in that 15. Dustin Lee is looking to the inside as they go into the corner, and Jeff T. Martin's giving him all the room he wants. Jeff might be running that high line on purpose, although it does look like the 32 of Dustin Lee clears him. That means it's going to put, looks like, Dustin Lee up into that 4th position and drop Jeff T. Martin back to the number 5th position. Fronted. Go ahead.
Sorry, caution is out, and we'll see what happens now. Oh my god, I'm not sure what triggered that caution. I can't find it.
Yeah, that's going to give us a real issue. Looks like the number 1 of James Somke had little issues as we get the replay pulled up. But this is definitely going to make it interesting to find out if the leaders are going to come down pit road or not. It looks like on the replay here, the number 1 of James Somke has been using that upper line.
Kessler comes down. He gets way ahead of everybody, and Mark Jackson's going to come down as well. Gerald Campbell as well. So these guys, Kessler tried to get as far ahead of everybody as he could there and still stay behind the pace car. Looks like at least 4 trucks are going to catch up and still have a chance of beating him off pit road.
Wow, what a surprise move. It's definitely going to make it interesting. But yeah, back to the replay. Number 1 of James Somke coming off of the corner, just gets right up against the 44. Looks like he doesn't even really make any contact. But it actually spins himself around. So the Pro Auto Service 44 of Ray Richard gets no damage. And the number 1 Gearhead Paint Shop of James Somke, he gets turned. He's able to save it, but he does get in the grass. He overcorrects, locks it down in the middle of the track. No contact. Really good job for James.
Kessler gets it off of pit road in first, and a little bit of a scare from the 98 camp, I'm sure there. Caution with under 15 laps to go. Not sure if everybody's going to follow him down. He raced it in there hard, though, and made sure that everybody didn't have a lot of time to make their decision, but luckily for him, everybody follows him down, and he maintains the lead, and definitely not sure if he would have been able to make it back up front here if everybody else decided to hang him out to dry. Looks like Tim Rangers is going to be out there waiting for the wave round in that number 70 machine with the helicopter landing pad on the bed of that thing. Noticed that thing last week for the first time. That's got to be one of the coolest things about that number 70 of Tim Rangers, aside from his wife spotting for him every week. As if you look on the right rear quarter panel of, or the right side of the tailgate up near the headlight on that number 70 machine, you can actually see a photo of Tim Rangers and his wife Michelle there.
Yes, he has got one of the best painted trucks out here in the field. We got a lot of great trucks. We have a picture of him and his wife on the back. And yes, like you mentioned, the helicopter landing pad, one of his sponsors is Hellapalooza. So he's probably going to be getting a wave round here. Looks like he's going to be he's 3 laps down now. He should get that 1 lap to go, 1 lap back. And we're going to have a very exciting run to the finish here, Curtis, with 14 laps to go, maybe 13 when we get the green flag. And one thing is for sure, Curtis, the fuel mileage question strategy is out.
Yeah, everybody is good on fuel, and they got 4 stickers to make it to the end. They're going to have, like you said, 13 laps to get it done, and Andrew Kessler has been the class of the field for the entirety of this race. I mean, pretty much no contest, even on old tires. That one time he got a little bit loose and lost a little bit of positions, but he didn't fall back anymore from where those positions that he fell back. He just couldn't gain any, so he's just as fast as everybody on 10-lap older tires, and with 4 fresh stickers, I really don't think anybody's got anything for him. Gerald Campbell might have a shot. Dustin Lee is going to actually be up as far as he's been all night in 3rd position, so I know he'll be hungry there in that 3rd position. And anybody inside the top 5's got a shot right now. Gary Sexton, even all the way back in 7th place, he's shown a lot of speed tonight, so don't count him out either.
Yes, it's going to have to be a perfect restart. It's going to have to be a perfect 9 laps here for Andrew Kessler on that 98 Aegis truck, Toyota Tundra, to pull this win off. Can he do it? Yes.
We're watching Tim Rangers. We're going to actually have 10 laps to go on this restart, and it's a Saturday night shootout here. Dirt track. Usually about 8 to 10 lap heats for that. Well, that's what you're going to see here. Lights are off atop the iRacing.com Mustang pace car. Chef Andy's Toyota Tundra. We've been talking about him a lot tonight. It's been up front all night. Pace car pulls off, and Kessler gets the jump on Gerald Campbell. He's got about a 3-car length lead as they head down to turn 1, but Campbell's the only one who's really had anything for him all night. He holds on to that 2nd position, sails it down into turn 1.
Yes, and as they come screaming off of turn 2, down the back stretch, it looks like Gerald Campbell is trying everything he can do to get a run on him. And behind him, looks like we've got guys battling for 3rd, 4th, and 5th position. It looks like Mark Jackson, that number 3, over the tops paints and designs Silverado, was getting a lot of heat from the 33 Vernon Mar guy. He was able to keep him behind him.
Caution is out again. And it looks like the 76 of Gene Collum nose first into the inside wall coming off of turn 4.
Yes, fans, as we get that replay pulled up.
Looks like that Interstate Batteries machine just got a little bit loose and didn't want to loop it back up into traffic. He did not counter steer. He just drove it straight into the fence. So smart call. Nobody else hit him. He could have easily collected a few more drivers if he counter steered it back the other way. Looks like we will get one more restart, but that is going to be our final one on the night. Probably going to be about a 3 or 4 lap shootout when we get back to green flag here. And as I say every week when or not every week, but every time that we have this scenario, we won't go back green flag once we get inside of 5 laps to go, which the restart will be inside of 5 laps to go. iRacing doesn't have a system where we can have a green-white checkered or an overtime line, so we got what we got to work with, and this will be the final restart on the night when we get re-racked up here.
Yeah, and depending on how things go here, Curtis, it looks like we're going to have some drivers with some interesting finishes here. Looks like David Gainforth in that 101 Mr. Bubbles. He started qualified 12th. He's up to 8th. Would not surprise me at all to see him gain another position or two. He's a very, very talented driver. Looks like Tim Renders, we talked about him in the 70. He's been trying to get laps back all night long. And he might get one more back right now for this restart. He might be the lucky dog. And we've had a lot of the drivers had a good run tonight. And obviously it looks like right now the top 10 currently all started in the top 10, with the exception of David Gainforth in 12th he started, Jack Watt started 21st, and Ray Richards started 11th. He's running in 10th. So the cream has kind of risen to the top here, Curtis, for the end of this race. And hopefully we'll have a clean last about a 4-lap shootout here for the end of this race. Again, fans, you are watching the Serve Pro 188 live on All Pro Broadcasting. We're going to stay right here. Don't go anywhere. You're not going to miss 1 second of the action here. And Curtis, who would be your pick? Obviously, that's been made earlier for the free Domino's pizza. Obviously, you're probably gonna. I'm not gonna put words in your mouth.
Insane not pick the number 98 of Andrew Kessler right now. He's led every lap except for the parts where he's had a problem on pit lane, coming off the pit lane and lost the lead for just a couple laps, and where he had that bobble earlier on when he stayed out there on older tires. So just not enough good things you can say about that number 98 machine tonight. He's just been way faster than anybody else out there.
Yeah, like I said, he made the most use of the practice time that was available to all of these drivers. He got the most laps in. He was able to try all different kind of adjustments with his steering, and he's definitely been able to make the most of the practice, and it's definitely showing up tonight.
Lights are still on and on top of the pace car. I'm sure they will be off the next time by, which will give us a 5-lap shootout. Or sorry, a 3-lap shootout to the end. 4-lap, my bad. And I think anybody is still really inside the top 5, even top 10 has a shot. I mean, Gerald Campbell, he's leading the points right now. Not sure if he really is hungry for the win, knowing that he's at the top of the standings, or if he's just sitting there going, wow, if I can get another second or third or even top 5 finish tonight, that'll be great, because I'll still should be in first position, or if he's really looking to get that win to lock himself into the chase.
I'd be willing to bet, Curtis, that the number 6 of Gerald Campbell is very hungry to get this win. He's a great driver. He's had a lot of consistency this year, but you're a racer, you're a winner, you're a champion, Curtis. Gerald Campbell wants this win probably as much as anybody in the field, but he's got some serious competition. Like you said, anybody in the top 5 or 10 even could get this win. It'll be interesting to see if these trucks can get through the first turn 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 on these last few laps cleanly. Again, we've seen a lot of trucks get loose. They had to get out of the gas, gather it back up, and that'll let the guy behind you right around. So we don't know for sure who's going to win this week.
Sure, this is going to be the most anxious restart of the night for these drivers. Definitely the last one on the night, no question about it. We cannot go back green flag after if there is another caution, so hopefully we can run it to the end, and that number 98 machine, 5 laps to win. He's looking to get it done on this final restart.
Yeah, I tell you what.
The pace car pulls off for the final time tonight at Gateway Motorsports Park. Andrew Kessler gets the jump on the outside, but again, Gerald Campbell holding on to that second position strong on the outside. He sails it into turn 1 as he has on every restart so far. Gets a little bit wiggly as they're 3 wide behind him for just a second with Mark Jackson, Dustin Lee, and Jeff Martin. Those guys have been racing hard all night, and Vernon Margheim to the outside of Jeff Martin now.
Yes, Vernon Margheim and Jeff Martin side by side. Looks like they touched. Jeff Martin gets a little bit loose, but he's able to save it.
And Gary looking to the inside of Jeff Martin. Jeff Martin does a little bit of a block there for that 5th position. Still got a little bit of damage as he has all night on that Domino's TYJ Southeast Motorsports Chevrolet Silverado. Gary Sexton looking to get back inside the top 5, where he probably feels like he belongs. He was running inside the top 3 for most of the night, and it looks like Jeff Martin looks to go below Vernon Margheim, while Margheim was looking to go below the 32 of Dustin Lee. 33 gets below the 32 of Dustin Lee, and Martin gets into the back of Margheim.
They are all over.
Great racing going on here as the closing laps here at Gateway Motorsports Park.
Yes, sir. These battles are for 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, or 2 wide, 2 by 2, about 3 rows deep here. It looks like the 32 of Dustin Lee will come out of that ahead of the 33 of Vernon Margine. As we looks like we're going to be coming to the white flag here. And it definitely looks like Andrew Kessler has definitely got a comfortable lead at this point, although Mark Jackson is definitely making some moves on the 6 of Gerald Campbell as they go across the start-finish line with 1 lap to go. I'll let you call it, Curtis.
Yeah, Andrew Kessler to the white flag. He's only got 2 more corners, a straightaway and 2 more corners to navigate to win, but it looks like Gerald Campbell and Mark Jackson are pulling in just a little bit, gaining on them. I don't think it's going to be enough. We'll see if Mark Jackson sails it in there. Kessler coming up on a lap truck of looks like Tim Cox, but nobody could beat Andrew Kessler tonight. He dominated all night. Andrew Kessler goes to victory lane from Gateway.
And the 3 wide coming across the start finish for 5th, 6th, and 7th. Wow, what an exciting finish there.
Andrew Kessler in the number 98 machine, as I said all night, just no contest. I mean, most dominant truck all evening. Well-deserved win for Andrew here. First win on the truck season, I do believe, locking himself into the chase, and we will run down the entirety of the finishing order here as Andrew Kessler brings it around on the front stretch around to the start-finish line, and he is going to do some donuts on those bricks on the start-finish line at Gateway. First time to victory lane for that number 98 machine on the Dented Fenders truck season, and Gerald Campbell, hard-fought battle all night, brings it home in 2nd place with Mark Jackson for 3rd. Dustin Lee finishes in 4th tonight. He was all over the place all night tonight in his number 32 machine, with Vernon Margheim in the number 33. Jeff Martin in the 15 machine finishes just outside the top 5 tonight in 6th. The number 7 of Gary Sexton finishes in 7th tonight, a little bit farther back than he probably felt like he deserved. Jack Watson, the number 66 machine, finishes 8th. David Gainforth, solid top 10 finish tonight after quite a few weeks off, and that number 101 machine finishes 9th. Judd Danielson inside the top 10 after, like I said, a rare mistake out of the 85 camp. Brings it home in top 10. At definitely not one of Judd's best tracks, I don't think. So good job to Judd. Ray Richard just outside the top 10 and 11th. James Somke for 12th. Sean Kalis for 13th. He been started in 19th tonight, so great run for him. Chad Payne in 14th, and Gene Collin finishes 15th after putting it into the wall not too long ago, so good finish for him. Ivan Garcia finishes on the lead lap in 16th, with Tim Cox rounding out all the drivers on the lead lap in his number 19 machine, finishing 17th. Tim Cox in the number 70 finishes 3 laps down in 18th, and the rest of these drivers finishing at least 30 plus laps down tonight. That is William Locklear, Michael Fravert, Shane Parrish, Joe Johnson, Danny Rudy, Gary Weston, Jeremy Crandall, and that is in order. So
yeah, Curtis, I'll let you catch your breath, get a drink of water here as I've got the drivers lined up here for interviews. And like we said, I'm actually going to give you a second. I'm going to take 3rd place finisher, and I'll let you interview the top 2 in just a minute, Curtis.
10-4 on that. Robert is catching up trackside with the number 3 of Mark Jackson.
Mark Jackson, this is Robert and Curtis in the broadcast booth. Congratulations, sir. Looks like you had a great run tonight. Started 5th. Fell back there in the middle of the race. We're not sure what happened to you. Hopefully you can fill us in real quick. You're bringing home 3rd, another top 3 finish, Mark. Congratulations. What happened in the middle part of the race to put you back there?
Yes, sir, Robert. Yeah, we decided to go to the back there when that one truck on the old tires stayed out to lead a lap. We were trying to be cautious and take care of the truck. I was planning on a caution flag coming out there, and it didn't materialize, so we had to fight our way back up to the front. It was really a struggle.
Yes, sir. Well, you did an excellent job. We noticed, I think you were as far back at one point, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we had you back as far as maybe 15th at one point, and you meticulously, as we've seen you do before, Mark, you fought your way through the field. The cautions at the end might have helped you just a little bit, but you've got a great paint job there on the over-the-top paints, and we definitely highlighted you in the Domino's driver profile earlier. Who would you like to give thanks to tonight for this third-place finish, Mark?
Absolutely. First of all, I have to thank my sponsor, John Hendrick, over at Over the Top Paints and Design. Our OTT Chevy Silverado was pretty quick tonight. You know, we just didn't have very much time to practice for the track today, so I'm really happy about that. I want to thank my mom. I want to thank God. I want to thank my fiance Kristen and everybody out there watching.
Well, congratulations again, Mark. That's going to help you in the points, and we're definitely looking forward to seeing more of you. First of all, tomorrow night in the Xfinity race at Richmond, but also next week when we have our next race in the trucks. Congratulations, Mark. We'll let you go now, and we'll interview the second place driver. I will pull up for Curtis right now.
Thank you, Robert.
And I've caught up trackside on pit lane with the number 6 of Gerald Campbell. Gerald, you came into this race, leading the point standings tonight. You qualify second, you finish second. Just didn't have enough for that number 98 machine. Tell us about your race here at Gateway.
It was actually really fun. I love this track. It's actually really fun to race on. It's very challenging with the shifting and everything like that. Like you said, second all the way through the day. I don't think there was anyone going to beat that 98. He just had a truck that just you knew you were racing for second unless if there was something happening. I just had to make sure I was in the position that I knew I needed to finish in. Just wish this was a point system where we raced it all the way to the end, because I think I got a pretty good lead in the point system right now, but it's not. It's going to be one of those chase races, and that's fine. It just adds to the pressure whenever it gets closer to the end. It's going to be something that you have to, really watch for every race, because these second places, good finishes are great and all. Gets a good feeling in you, but I got to get a win here pretty soon. That's points that I'm missing out. So second place was great. Maybe next week one better would be even better for me. But I like to just thank everyone that helps me with this, that lets me go about doing this, one being my fiance. You have a good fiance whenever she's actually buying you accessories for your racing rig. So I do have to thank her very much for her being able to let me do something that I enjoy like this. And then the second thing being, the VFW, which is on my vehicle here. My father serves, and we wouldn't be here if we didn't have the vets going out and doing the things that they're doing out there and coming back. And just wanted to thank everyone that watched the series, watched the race, and makes it more entertaining for us to be able to perform to a live audience.
All right, well, congratulations, Gerald. I was going to ask you a couple more questions, but you pretty much went on and covered it yourself there. So going to head down to Victory Lane, where Andrew Kessler's pit crew is spraying champagne everywhere, and he had the most dominant truck all evening. Andrew, nobody had anything for you tonight. What the heck did you do to that thing to make it so fast?
I had a rocket on the back. You just couldn't see it. Maybe it was the turbo boost in it. No, this thing...
98 machine has not yet passed through post-race tech, so we'll have to check on that. But, Andrew, dominant performance tonight. You got... I don't know if you made a mistake there missing the pit access road the first time by, but you seem to be really familiar with this track, so that'd be a little bit hard to believe. You got stuck out there on older tires, got a little bit loose, fell back to 7th spot, didn't lose much from there, and then it was only forward charging from there. We saw a couple scary moments of you getting loose. Once up on the backstretch, you almost guided yourself into that wall runoff, but you get the job done. Who do you want to thank for... I know Dave Washington's always on top of your pit box. Who else is there to thank for a dominant performance here tonight?
Well, honestly, just everybody at Aegis Motorsports, and a while back, I didn't even want to, I didn't race that much at all. It's been a long time, and then I figured I'd step into it, and then Dave was telling me that if you're going to step into it and do it, then do it right and get some seat time, get some practice time, and I've been doing that, and it's been showing a lot, and I swear to God, at this track, I feel like at least I've ran 1,000 laps at this track this week, just trying to figure everything out and fine-tune it, and and the track kind of reminded me a lot of New Hampshire in turns 3 and 4, and I really like that place. So, you just get a feel for it, I think, and especially the downshifting in a 1 and 2, and I think once you get that feel for it and you get in that groove, it makes it pretty good. And having some long green flag runs like we did tonight, which I wasn't surprised, but I was surprised at it. So. I think that helped too, just being able to get in the groove. But yeah, that first pit stop there, the pace car, I couldn't find him. I'm like, where the heck is he? And he came out, and then he sped way up, and I'm speeding up to catch up, and I'm talking to the guys in TeamSpeak, and I totally just missed it. And I couldn't believe I did that. And obviously, I wasn't going to come down and get a black flag, so I just stayed out and tried to hang on to what I could. But yeah, I did make a mistake there a couple times, like you said, getting loose off the corners, but. All that was just trying to drive on the bottom and basically getting pinched by those guys. They were doing what they had to do on the high side there, coming off of turn 2 to keep that spot, and it was just pushing the envelope. And lucky enough for me, I didn't get into anybody or spin the thing out. So it was fun. It was a lot of fun, and being up front, I think the track position just helped a lot tonight.
Now, going forward, you came into this race in 10th in the points standings. That would put you inside the chase, but that's not including all the guys who have a win. Now you put yourself in that win column. You're locked into the chase. You don't have to worry about it for the rest of the year. So what are your plans heading forward for the rest of the season? You going to try and come out here and get a bunch more wins, or are you just going to try and hold your position in the point standings?
Yeah, listen, wins are what it's all about. That's why all of us, get on here and do this each and every week. It's been a struggle. Some good finishes. I mean, we were 10th in the points coming into tonight, so it's been a good season, but it could have been a lot better. Some mistakes late in races have cost me a lot of really good finishes. Martinsville comes into mind. A couple of these other places where I ended up with a top 10, but it could have been that much better. So I think you got to keep the momentum going as long as you can, and I'm definitely going to come out here and try to get these wins. And this week just itself proved that the more time you spend on the track, the more laps you put in, it's going to get you better prepared for these things. Obviously, you can't prepare for crashes or things like that, but knowing that you're prepared to run on the racetrack, I think that's helped a lot. And I think I'll be spending a lot more time on the sim over the next few weeks, just continuing to practice and try to get better.
I couldn't agree any more about that, Andrew. Well, congratulations on your win here tonight. First win of the Dented Fenders Truck Series, second win in the Domino's TYJ Racing Series. We'll let you go and celebrate. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I want to thank you, Robert, and everybody at Domino's, you guys, for putting the broadcast on as well. But I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Later, Andy.
Yeah, thank you, Andy and Curtis. This has been a great night. We did have a free Domino's Pizza winner. We've had a lot of brand new fans that have come on board here in the last few weeks. They've been viewing our public Facebook page, Domino's TYJ Racing. It is the public Facebook page. A lot of new people viewing the races. Lisa Hernandez from Miami, Florida, picked the 98 truck. She said she loved the paint scheme on it, the orange and yellow. And so she will be winning that free large 3-topping pizza for her and her family down there in Florida. Curtis, what are your takeaways from tonight?
Interesting race here tonight at Gateway, a mile and a quarter track, one that I am not used to. I haven't done very many races on it, haven't called a race on it at all, so something new for me tonight. But yeah, like we said 100 times tonight, nobody had anything for Andrew Kessler. He looked like he had a pro license compared to all these guys tonight, so just absolutely took everybody to school. And like he said, practice does pay off, and hopefully that's what these drivers do headed into the coming weeks, and we'll see a lot of great racing to come.
Yes, sir, Curtis. This has been an exciting first, I want to say, not even maybe 20% of our season. And yes, practice is very important. I definitely saw an entertaining race. We will be racing back here at Gateway Motorsports Park on June 14th, but I do want to remind the fans one last time, this was the Serve Pro 188 live on All Pro Broadcast, and we can't thank Michael D'Amico, who runs the cameras every single week for us, for his great job and great talent and his generosity and putting all the hard work behind what he does. So for Curtis Young, Michael D'Amico, this is Robert McFarland. Congratulations, Andrew Kessler. And fans, we will definitely see you tomorrow night for the Premier Xfinity race at Richmond International Speedway. You do not want to miss that. You think this race had a lot of action? You just wait till tomorrow night. So make sure you tune in, and you could be the lucky winner of the free large 3-topping Domino's Pizza. Have a good night, fans.
When you're ready,
Surf Pro, how can we help?
help gets there faster. The cleanup specialists at 1-800-SERVPRO and ServPro.com. Helping make fire and water damage like it never even happened.
Did your little storm knock out the power? Well, excuse me for not noticing.
Hate to disappoint you, old man Winter. Better luck next time.
If the power goes out, your Generac standby generator goes on automatically.
Down trees? Flash floods? Is that all you've got?
Stand up to the threat of outages with Generac and never feel powerless.